Today, we're diving into one of the most chilling moments in American history, the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln. Most of us know the story. John Wilkes Booth, a well-known actor with strong Southern sympathies, shot Lincoln at Ford's Theater in 1865. The official story points to Booth acting with a few criminal associates, but was there more to it than that? Some historians and a lot of curious minds suspect that Booth might not have acted alone. In fact, there's a theory that the entire plot was orchestrated by the Confederacy as a last-ditch effort to strike back at the Union, with the South losing the Civil War and their hopes fading. Could Booth's actions have been part of a broader Confederate conspiracy? We're going to break down everything from Booth's alleged role as a Confederate agent to suspicious interactions Lincoln supposedly had in the days leading up to his death, and explore if there's any truth behind this controversial theory. Buckle up as we journey into history's shadows.
Let's start with the story most of us were taught. It's April 14, 1865. The Civil War is practically over. Lee has surrendered to Grant just days earlier. But tensions are still high, and not everyone is ready to accept the Union's victory. Among those harboring deep resentment is John Wilkes Booth, a famous actor and a staunch supporter of the Confederacy. Booth had hatched a plan, not just to kill Lincoln, but to take down the top Union leaders. His targets included Vice President Andrew Johnson and Secretary of State William Seward, hoping to throw the Union into chaos. Booth and his small group of conspirators each had a role to play that night. While he handled Lincoln, his accomplices were assigned to eliminate Seward and Johnson. Booth succeeded in killing Lincoln, but his allies fell short in their missions. This left Booth on the run, hunted as the assassin of the beloved president. 11 days later, Union forces tracked him down to a Virginia barn, where he was killed during a shootout. So, that's the story most people know, a rogue actor and a few conspirators acting out of revenge and frustration. But here's where things get interesting. Historians and amateur researchers like James O. Hall have suggested there's more to this story. What if Booth wasn't just a rogue actor? What if he was actually part of a Confederate conspiracy? Alright, so here's where we dive deeper. Some believe that John Wilkes Booth wasn't just a bitter, angry actor acting alone. Instead, there's a theory, one that's gained traction among certain historians and conspiracy buffs, that Booth was actually part of a larger Confederate plot. The idea that the Confederacy, desperate and on its last leg, orchestrated Lincoln's assassination in a final act of defiance. The concept isn't entirely outlandish. By April 1865, the Confederacy was in shambles. With Union troops closing in on all fronts and morale at rock bottom, high-ranking Confederates might have seen Lincoln's death as the ultimate revenge and a way to destabilize the North. According to proponents of this theory, Booth wasn't just a rogue agent. They believe he had a specific mission assigned by key Confederate figures, a mission designed to shake the Union to its core. And the motives align, don't they? Taking out Lincoln wouldn't just avenge the South's loss, it could also send the Union into political chaos. Alright, here's where we get into some fascinating theories. Many historians have wondered if John Wilkes Booth was acting as a lone vigilante or if he was part of a larger Confederate strategy. Booth wasn't just an actor, he was a known Southern sympathizer with connections to key Confederate supporters. Some historians, like James O. Hall, have suggested that Booth might have been operating as an unofficial Confederate agent. This theory paints him not as a rogue assassin, but as part of a network that the Confederacy allegedly cut off from communication during the closing days of the Civil War. If true, Booth's actions could be seen as a desperate final attempt by Confederate loyalists to strike at the Union, even in defeat. Now, let's dig into some of the more mysterious details that have fueled conspiracy theories over the years. Detectives' several claims suggest that Lincoln may have received unexplained payments or held interactions with high-ranking officials who had Southern sympathies or even Confederate ties. Whether these payments were genuine transactions or merely speculative rumors, they've prompted questions about possible whispers in the halls surrounding Lincoln's safety. There's also some historical chatter that Lincoln might have been somewhat aware of threats or sensed unusual activity in the days leading up to his assassination. Some accounts even suggest that he mentioned premonitions of his death to those close to him. But despite these intriguing clues, historians remain divided on whether these interactions or premonitions truly reveal a greater conspiracy, or if they simply reflect the tense, uncertain atmosphere of a nation healing from war. The idea of a Confederate-backed assassination plot is fascinating, but historians have run into major roadblocks in proving it. For one, there's the sheer lack of direct evidence linking John Wilkes Booth's plot straight to the Confederate leadership. While there are intriguing clues and circumstantial details, no solid documentation ties Confederate officials to Booth's inner circle or his plans for Lincoln. Booth was also known for his fiercely independent and somewhat impulsive personality, which adds to the difficulty in confirming he was merely a Confederate puppet. Some historians argue that his Southern loyalties and fiery temper might have been enough to drive him to act alone without any formal Confederate orders. Finally, the nature of conspiracy itself makes it a tricky subject. Evidence may be scarce, details can be misinterpreted, and speculation often fills the gaps. Historical records are limited, and without concrete proof, this theory remains exactly that, a theory. The Confederate conspiracy theory around Lincoln's assassination has left a lasting mark on both public opinion and historical analysis. Though officially unproven, the theory has fueled countless books, films, and debates over the years, sparking a what-if fascination with the idea of a grand Southern plot. For many, this theory adds a layer of intrigue to Lincoln's death, transforming it from a lone act of violence into a story of espionage and rebellion. Historically, these alternative narratives have underscored just how divided the country was, and perhaps still is, over the Civil War's lasting impact. Even without firm evidence, this theory taps into a broader American tendency to question official accounts and explore hidden agendas. The persistence of theories like this one highlights a uniquely American fascination with conspiracy, casting Lincoln's assassination as not only a historical tragedy but also a puzzle that, for some, is still unsolved. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe for more deep dives into history's mysteries.